The power creep situation in Anime Vanguards is actually insane. It's the topic of the town right now after the Sukuna release. The Sukuna familiar was available for the public, which is basically one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful unit right now. We're going to talk about power creeps in Anime Vanguards, and without further ado, let's get started. By the way, guys, before we get started, I just want you guys to know that our goal is to get to 100k subscribers eventually, and only you can help me to get to that goal by clicking that like and subscribe button, and by doing so, you also get to be part of the OG subs of AB Plays. Without further ado, subscribe and let's get started. Alright, so first and foremost, why are people talking about this situation right here? Why are people saying power creep cards, and why is this such a big deal right now? It's basically because of Sukuna. Got his familiar, Vanguard familiar recently, and essentially got propelled to being one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful unit in the game. The tier list, official tier list by the way, the official tier list right now that is made by testers, right? Made by testers, probably checked by the developers as well, has Sukuna with the familiar at number 1, the strongest unit in the game, over characters like Kaguya, Escanor, Griffith, Yuhoba, and Song Jinwoo. Yeah, he's right now the top unit right now. There's a very big explanation on why he's the best unit and all that stuff. And I actually do agree with this tier list because Sukuna is only about 98,200 to totally max out, completely max out, while also having one of the highest DPS in the game. He has one of the highest DPS in the game. If you've checked my previous video, his DPS is going to be somewhere around 200,000 while costing less than 100k. The only units that can cost 200,000 is actually going to be the Struggler, which is Guts, Escanor, and yeah, that's basically it. And also this one right here, which is Monkey King. However, both these units right here, right, are a lot more expensive than Sukuna. Right, Sukuna is only 98,200. He's basically so much more cheaper than Escanor, so much cheaper than the Struggler, so much cheaper than Monkey King, while also being basically not having as much drawbacks with his DPS. His DPS is incredibly high, and the only drawback with his DPS is he has to be hitting new enemies all the time that are strong enough to outlast his DPS, strong enough to not get one-shotted by his DPS. And honestly, that's not even a weakness, because if enemies are getting one-shotted by his DPS, there's literally no point for a follow-up. There's literally no point for a follow-up if people are getting one-shotted. So that's not even that big of a weakness. He has some other weaknesses, but it's not that big, honestly. And that's why he's at the top. Now, this has led to people basically saying power creep cards, because now Escanor is not even in the broken category anymore. Song Jinwoo is only now top 5, you know, and basically that's why this is such a big deal right now. But before we get into reasoning and all that stuff, I want to bring you guys to pre 7.5. Before they started power creeping units in Anime Vanguards, we had update 7, update 4, 5, 6, update 7. Every update before update 7, that was when they were not doing power creep, and that was when they were actually meticulously balancing the units. And guess what was the biggest complaint during those updates of Anime Vanguards? And guess also how much CCU Anime Vanguards had during update 7. These are all public numbers right here. You can check this if you want to. Basically, this is the number of Anime Vanguards in the past 3 months right here. This was around update 7. Right here was around update 7. Right, this was update 7 right here, and then this was, I believe, maybe the earlier updates, update 6.5. This one right here was update 6.5. This one right here was update 7, and this one right here was update 8, or sorry, 7.5. Update 7.5 is when they decided to start power creeping units. Take a look at the number right here. This one right here is back when they were meticulously balancing the units, not doing power creep. Here is when they were starting to do power creep more often. Not just power creep, but also making the stages a lot easier. Basically, making stages easier and making units a lot more worth obtaining. Take a look at the difference in player count right here. It's very obvious why this is working. The developers simply listened to the vast majority of the complaints during Update 7 that units were not worth obtaining and that the stages was too hard. So during 7.5, they decided to do, let's just do a power creep units and mid stages a lot easier. That's exactly what they did, and it's working for them right now. That's what we are seeing right now. Units being worth obtaining. Every single unit right now that was released in 7.5 and even Update 8 are worth obtaining. It's worth obtaining King, Griffith, Guts, the Smith, literally even the Battle Pass units are worth obtaining. And they made it this way because of complaints from the previous updates, and it's working. That is why Anime Vanguards right now is in the place that it is because of complaints in Update 7 that they listened to. Now, is the power creep actually that bad, right? Is the power creep actually that bad? If we take a look at the tier list right here, and actually really wait for a moment, you can see that the top unit, the second unit, top 2, is still a unit from Update 4. Top 4 or top 5 unit is a unit from Update 4.5. And if you take a look down here, you still got a lot of really powerful units. This one was from Update 6. This one was from Update 5.5. This one was from 7.5. You still got a lot of units that were from previous updates, right? So the power creep is there, but it's not to the point that units from previous updates are genuinely useless, right? It's not as bad as ALS. It's not as bad as all those other games. It is pretty noticeable in comparison to Anime Vanguard standards, but that was the point, right? FISEP even mentioned this before Update 7.5 released, that Update 7.5 was going to have a power creep that was going to be noticeable. And that's what we are seeing right now, a noticeable power creep. But it's not even that bad because a lot of the units in this tier list, right, in broken meta and sub meta, a lot of the units in sub meta are still from updates before 7.5. This was from 6, 5.5, this one was from 7, and these are all still powerful units. If you had these units right here, you would still be able to clear a lot of stages. Now, obviously, as you know, the more updates come out, maybe when update 8 comes out, or sorry, 8.5 comes out with Vegeta will probably be in broken or in the top of meta as well. It's just how it's gonna be, right? It's just how it's gonna be. Right now, Anime Vanguards has completely decided to change their formula and decided to make every unit worth obtaining. And that is because it's working. Like, take a look at their CC right now. It's working. It genuinely is. But it's not going to be so bad to the point that units are going to be unobtainable after like a single update, or sorry, unusable after a single update. They're still going to be relatively usable and good after a single update, but they won't be extremely broken anymore. Unless they were like exceptionally overpowered, like maybe Escanor. As you guys could see in the tier list, Escanor was from 7.5 and he's so broken that he's still here after an update. You know, Song Jinwoo was from 4.5, but he was so exceptionally broken that even after all the power creep, he is still top 5. And I think what we're gonna see moving forward from Anime Vanguards, and this is what I genuinely think will happen, is Anime Vanguards will probably start making units more worth getting. So maybe in following updates, the broken category will change. There's going to be units that are going to drop down, meta units that are going to be dropped down to sub-meta, but there will still be units from old updates that are still pretty good. Like Escanor will probably stay in meta for a while. Griffith will probably be broken for a while. There will be new broken characters and new overpowered characters, but they won't be like before where the power creep was basically not moving. Power creep and the increase in power will be noticeable now in Anime Vanguards because this is what works. This is proven with their numbers, and that is most likely what's going to happen from now on moving forward. But again, the older units will still be relatively strong, right? It just won't be like before where Yuaba, a unit from update 4, will be meta or top 1 for like several months. It just won't be like that anymore moving forward with the Anime Vanguards. And I think, honestly, this is my opinion on this. This is a good move. A lot of people are complaining that it's power creep cards, and I understand why this might be a problem because Anime Vanguard's rerolls aren't as easily obtainable. So for example, if Sukuna is the top 1 unit, then that means we need to reroll on Sukuna because he's the top 1 unit. We need to reroll on this guy because he's so overpowered. Like for example, I know that problem by myself. I know that problem, that feeling that I need to reroll on Sukuna because he's the strongest unit. I know that. But the thing here is, it just works, right? Power creeping, making the units more powerful than previously, making the units grow in power as each update that passes. It just makes the game feel like there's progression to it. it just makes the game feel as if it's getting more advanced, it's getting more stronger. And again, the CCU doesn't lie. The numbers keep growing, the numbers and the averages keep growing, and hopefully Anime Vanguards doesn't go back to what they were in Update 7, because honestly, I would much rather prefer what we have right now than what we had back in Update 7, and I think the majority of players would also prefer that. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. That's gonna be it, and peace out everybody.